very warm welcome to everyone joining us for this international webinar organized as a platform for meaningful academic dialogue, intellectual exploration, and a deeper understanding of Indian philosophical traditions. Our topic for today is the bondage of soul in Saiva Siddhanta with an emphasis on Mayamala. We are deeply honored to welcome our distinguished speaker, Dr. Murugesan from the Department of Philosophy and Comparative Religion, Visva-Bharati University, Shantiniketan. Saiva Siddhanta represents one of the profound philosophical and spiritual traditions of India, offering a systematic understanding of Pati, the Supreme Lord, Pashu, the individual soul, and Pasha, the bonded limit soul. The concept of bondage is therefore central to understanding the journey of the soul towards spiritual freedom. In today's session, with particular emphasis on Mayamala, we will explore how the soul becomes associated with limitations and experience at the world through conditioned awareness. The discussion will help us reflect on the nature of the soul, the force that binds it, and the philosophical understanding of liberation within Saiva Siddhanta. This topic is especially significant because it invites us to look beyond the surface of human experience and consider deeper questions about consciousness, individuality, bondage, knowledge, and liberation. We are confident that Dr. Murugesan's scholarly insight will provide us with a valuable opportunity to understand this important aspect of Saiva Siddhanta philosophy in a clear, thoughtful, and academically enriching manner. On behalf of the organizers, I extend our heartfelt welcome and sincere gratitude to Dr. Murugesan for joining us and sharing his knowledge with this international audience. Let us now begin this intellectually stimulating and spiritually enriching journey into the profound philosophy of Saiva Siddhanta. Over to you, Dr. Murugesan. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Pritili. A respected CEO of Modak Trainer Academy, the board members of Modak Trainer Academy, the faculty members, the research scholars, the students. Very good evening to all. Indeed, it's my joy and privilege to be here on the occasion of international webinar. Today, I'm going to talk on the bondage of soul in Saiva Siddhanta with an emphasis on Mayamala. Before I begin this lecture, I would like to have a kind of small recap. What are the things that we have so far covered? Actually, it is a series of lectures on Saiva Siddhanta that we have in the platform of Modak Trainer Academy. Related to Saiva Siddhanta, we had already 4 lectures. The first one is Introduction to Saiva Siddhanta. The second one, the concept of God, Lord Shiva in Saiva Siddhanta. The concept of soul, that is Pasu in Saiva Siddhanta. The last lecture, the 4th lecture that we had, the concept of bondage of soul in Saiva Siddhanta with special reference to Anavamala. In the sequence of this series of lectures, it is supposed to be still we are continuing with the bondage of soul in Saiva Siddhanta because there are 3 levels to understand the bondage of soul in Saiva Siddhanta. The last lecture was with a special reference to Anavamala, one of the primordial bondage, the primary bondage of soul in Saiva Siddhanta that we learned. And in the continuation of that, the bondage of soul in Saiva Siddhanta supposed to be the next one, Mayamala, and followed by that, in future we will be discussing about karma, the karma mala. So these are all the 3 layers of bondage in Saiva Siddhanta. But still the second and the third, today's Mayamala and karma mala will not be considered really as a bondage because Saiva Siddhantians disagree with that because Maya and karma helps the soul to be liberated. It's a tool. Maya also is a tool to be liberated from the bondage, as well as karma also a tool to be liberated from the bondage. This is what we need to understand. When I just get into the lecture, you will be very clear. So now, before I get into the talk, I would like to just tell you there are three primary references that I have used for this lecture or the talk. The first one is Sivanyana Bodham of Sivanyana, Mehendar. Mehendar has written Sivanyana Bodham. It's a Sivanyana Bodham of Mehendar. Sivanyana Mahabhadiyam of Sivanyana Siddhyar. And the third source, very important source, a book written by V.A. Devasenapati of Human Bondage and Liberation, Divine Grace, of Human Bondage and Divine Grace, which was published by Annamalai University in the year 1963. So these are all the three major texts along with few other texts, supporting texts that I have referred for this particular talk. And before I get into, the concept of bondage, particularly the concept of soul, when you understand in related to bondage in Saiva Siddhanta, with special emphasis on, Mayamala, I would like to just recollect from the previous lecture because that's supposed to be part of. It is most important because when we understand the previous lecture, the previous talk, then we can relate to this talk. This is what we need to understand, that because it is a chain link actually. It's a link to the previous lecture. It is not only the previous one, it is supposed to be the previous of previous as well. From the day one, which means introduction to Saiva Siddhanta, as well as the concept of God in Saiva Siddhanta, soul in Saiva Siddhanta, and the previous lecture, just immediate previous lecture was Anavamala, the bondage of soul in Saiva Siddhanta with special reference to Anavamala. I would like to just recollect what all the things so far we have spoken about the bondage of soul. Friends, I would like to just tell you that the metaphysical realities Saiva Siddhantian talk about from Tirumandiram 115th slok. This is a foundational one, please keep in your mind. Most of my lectures I was relating that. 115th Tirumandiram of Tirumular explains about three perennial entities, three metaphysical realities or three ontological realities, you may talk about it. That is Pati, Pasu, Pasam. Pati means Lord Shiva, Pasu means soul, Pasam means the bondage. These are the three metaphysical realities Saiva Siddhanta talk about it. So now, the last lecture also I was highlighting this particular Tirumandiram, the basic text, the basic slope to understand Lord Shiva, the soul, the bondage of soul. And again, the previous lecture or the previous talk that I was talking about, particularly Anavamala. Before Anavamala, I was just giving you background of Malam, Pasam. There are two terms simultaneously used in Saiva Siddhanta in order to denote bondage. The first one is Malam or Pasam. Both the term Malam and Pasam very much talk about the ignorance, the confusion, the darkness. Irul, Marul, Ariyamai in Tamil. Irul is darkness, Marul means confusion, Ariyamai means ignorance. These are the three levels that they understand the bondage of soul. That is Pasam, Malam. The Pasam and Malam used simultaneously. This is what we need to understand here. Again, the last talk, I was just talking about the nature of Malam or bondage and the types of bondage. Were supposed to be three types. The first one is Anava Malam, the second one is Maya Malam, the third one is Karma Malam. Friends, I would like to just highlight here again, there are texts you will come across Anavam, Karmam, Maya. That is also okay. Actually, that is a sequence. Anavam, that is Anavamala, Karmamala, Mayamala. But today I have taken the last one, the third malam, into the second level because it will give us a very good understanding of the third one, karma malam, when we see the next talk. So, three types of malam also I was explaining in the last talk, and particularly about anava malam with special reference to anava malam. We discussed the definition of anava malam, nature of anava malam, the seven functions of anava malam. These are all the things we discussed in the last lecture or the last talk. Today, in continuation with this, as we know that there are three layers of bondage in Saiva Siddhanta. Saiva Siddhanta talks about three layers. That is what we need to understand here when we talk about bondage of soul. The first one is Anava Malam that we discussed in the last talk. And tonight we are going to discuss about Maya Malam, Maya. Now I would like to just discuss this Maya Malam into the 5 stages. I would like to just tell you 5 things that I'm going to highlight tonight talk. The first one, I will start with the definition of the term Maya, the origin of Maya in Saiva Siddhantians, how they understand, the nature of Maya, the function of Maya, the types of Maya. These are the 5 things that I'm going to highlight here. That's it. The whole talk will be based on these 5 areas. Definition of the term Maya, origin of Maya, nature of Maya, function of Maya, types of Maya. When we understand these 5 stages in Maya Malam, we can understand what Saiva Siddhanta talks about Maya as one of the important tools to be liberated. Friends, again, I would like to tell you here, we call Maya Malam Pasam, but exactly Maya is not considered as a bondage actually, in reality. When I explain it, you will be very clear. Where I will just come a little later. So let me start with the first one, the definition of the term Maya. The term Maya, you know well in English, M-A-Y-A. What is a Tamil word? Tamil word also we write Maya, M-A, Ma, Ya, Y-A. Tamil word also Maya. Now, I would like to just make 2 divisions of the term Maya here. That letter Ma, letter Ya. M-A, Ma, is a 1 letter in Tamil, Ma. The next letter, Ya, is Y-A. 2 are having a kind of different meaning. Ma means involution. Ya means evolution. Ma stands for involution. I-N-V-O-L-U-T-I-O-N. Involution. What is involution here? Involution means, coming back to the original state. Coming back to the original state, involution. Returning back. Returning back to the state which is supposed to be previous. That is Ma. Involution, which means inward, turning inward, coming back, going back to the original state. That is called involution, Ma. The second letter in Tamil, Ya, stands for evolution. Evolution means here, it's very interesting, which we understand that the stages of growth from one stage to the other stage, from one particular, which means simple to the advanced, getting into the next stages. So this is called evolution. So there are 2 different functions within the term we find here in Saiva Siddhanta. When we talk about Maya, Ma stands for involution, Ya stands for evolution, which means 2 things are within that particular term, Maya. Now, the definition of the term Maya means involution and evolution, which we understand the world which is in its stage, at the material cause level. I will come to the material cause later. And it evolves from one stage to the other stage. That is very important. Again, which comes back to the original state when it is destroyed. Evolving and coming back to the original state. That is Maya. Whether any physical realities, any material realities, it is evolves and it involves. Evolves to the one stage to the other stage. Involves means coming back to the original state. That is Maya in related to the material or the objects level or the world, universe, which we talk about it. The second one, origin of Maya. What Saiva Siddhanta talks about origin of Maya. According to Saiva Siddhanta, Maya is eternal. It is anadi. There is no beginning, there is no end. Nobody created. Maya is not created. So now, when we talk about origin of Maya in Saiva Siddhanta, it is eternal. Nobody has created it, and it doesn't have any beginning, and it is anadi, as we understand Padi, Pasu, Pasam, which means as God eternal, Maya also eternal. As soul is eternal, Maya also eternal. Therefore, it is eternal. The previous talk also we discussed about Anava, Anava Malam. We understood that that is also eternal. So now we understand that Maya is eternal according to Saiva Siddhanta. There is no beginning, there is no end. When we talk about origin of Maya, it is eternal. This is what we need to remember. The third one, nature of Maya. How do we understand Maya in Saiva Siddhanta? According to Saiva Siddhantas, Maya is real. I would like to compare here with Advaita Vedanta. Advaita Vedanta, Shankaracharya talks about Maya as illusion, which means, the world is illusion. Whereas Saiva Siddhantian talks about world is real. In a simplest way, if I just take the same slok, how it would be, fit to Saiva Siddhantians or Saiva Siddhanta. Advaitins talk about Brahma Satya, Jagat Mithya. Whereas Saiva Siddhantians would fix it, Brahma Satya, Jagat Nitya. Not Mithya, it is Nitya. Eternal, original. It is real. This is what we understand that. So when we talk about the nature of Maya in Saiva Siddhanta, as God is real, world also real, the soul also real, which means the relationship between Padi, Pasu, Pasam. We understand that they are eternal and they are real. So when we understand the nature of Maya in Saiva Siddhanta, it is real. It is not unreal. This is what we need to understand that. Again, Maya is material cause. The material cause we understand in Saiva Siddhanta in related to Maya. If a person wants to really understand the nature of world, the existence of world, the function of world, Saiva Siddhantians takes into the position of Maya. The material cause is very systematically explained in Saiva Siddhanta related to Maya. So the existence of world in related to Maya is very clear in Saiva Siddhanta that it is real, and the material cause that we understand in related to Maya, that is the world evolves. The world evolves from one stage to the other stage. This is what we understand that. Now, It is, we understand, primordial matter. It is a primordial matter. Maya is primordial matter in nature. So now, when we understand the nature of Maya, it is real, it is primordial matter, it is material cause, where we understand that stage one to the other, or from the simple stage to the advanced stage, it grows, it evolves. When it is destroyed, when it is just, decomposes, it comes to the original stage, that is involves, evolves and involves. When we understand again further the fourth one here, the function of Maya. The function of Maya, it's very interesting. There are four functions I would like to highlight, multiple levels that Saiva Siddhanta explains about function of Maya here. But I would like to highlight there are four major functions of Maya. That is in related to particularly Pasu, that is soul, I would like to explain here. What is exactly here we understand with the function of Maya? The first one, as I told you at the beginning of my talk, Saiva Siddhantians don't take the position of Maya as a bondage, but it is supposed to be the tool which helps the soul to be liberated. So one of the major functions of Maya is playing the role of lamppost, which means Maya is not a bondage, Maya is not a malam, or Maya is not a possum, which makes a kind of things to be very much under the bondage, but it helps the soul to be liberated. Again, I would like to point out here, most of the Saiva Siddhantians take this position with a very important cause. That is very important here. What is it? They say at one point, it is not bonding the soul, it helps to be liberated from the bondage of Anava. Anavam is here is very important. The primal bondage, the primitive bondage. So now to come out of Anavam, the ego, Maya will be used as a tool to come out from the bondage of Anavam. But at the same time, there is a danger also. That is what Saiva Siddhantian talks about this particular point here. That if the person who is not knowledgeable of that, it may makes more bonded with a particularly, again, furthermore, the bondage will be thicker. They are making a kind of warning against this particular position here. A group of, Saiva Siddhantians very clearly talks about it, that it is a tool, it is a lamppost which helps us to be liberated from the bondage, but at the same time, which will make you more bonded, because if the person who is not aware of that, the ignorance of that person will make more of bondage. When I come to the next stages, it will be furthermore clear. When I explain the three types of bondage, Maya, then you will understand that. So now here, which Maya plays at the role of lamppost, which means, which helps the Maya, which helps the soul to come out from the bondage. This is what we need to understand. What is the analogy they explain here? The Saiva Siddhantins give a most famous analogies like this. In a white shirt or in a white cloth, on a white cloth, if there is a stain, there is a small stain or the bigger stain, whatever size of stain is there, to remove that stain, we use soap. The soap is considered as one kind of dirt again, the dirt which removes the dirt. This is what really we understand that. A dirt which removes the dirt, that is a stain from the cloth, the white cloth. In other words, I would say that in order to take out a thorn, we use another thorn to remove the thorn. So Saiva Siddhantin gives this famous analogy to understand how Maya helps the soul to be liberated from Anava. Now, how the thorn helps to remove the thorn, how the stain helps to remove the stain, in the same way, Maya can be considered as a kind of pasam or malam, but it is not exactly plays that role. It is supposed to help to remove, come out from the original bondage that is Anava. This is what Saiva Siddhanta talks about in related to understand what is Maya Malam, which plays the role of lamppost, which is a tool. The tool, the Maya is a tool, is used to, you know, used to remove the bondage of Anava Malam. This is what we need to understand that. The second one, Maya is considered as material cause. What is material cause here? We understand that Maya is not created, Maya is eternal, and the whole evolves of the world, the evolution of the world, it is because of Maya, from one stage to the other stage, which includes human being as well. The soul supposed to have the body. The body is considered Maya. Now again, the body, the context with the body lives, I mean human being, the environment, the context, the world, everything we consider as Maya here. So the Maya we understand as a material cause. And Saiva Siddhanta very strongly holds that which, Maya comes from one stage to the other stage as a growth, and further it evolves, at one point dissolves, comes back to the original state, that is involves. So Maya is evolves and involves in state, in nature. So the third one, Maya is understood as the energy. The physical and mental energy is derived from Maya. The object of enjoyment, the enjoyment of the body in related to the context, the environment, the nature, everything it is from Maya. Therefore, Maya plays a major role of the producer of energy. The energy which helps to enjoy. The enjoyment means the action of an individual, where comes karma, the good action and the bad action. If the person uses this energy to produce a good action, is different, which helps to be liberated furthermore. If the person is very much, under the kind of bad action, which makes furthermore bondage, where comes karma relationship. So Maya in related to karma. So the energy is produced from Maya. This is what we understand that. The fourth one, when we understand Maya in its function, Saiva Siddhanta strongly holds on the theory of Satkaryavada. Satkaryavada, as you know very well about the cause, the effect relationship. The effect is within the cause, that is material cause, that is in Maya. So Saiva Siddhantian accept Asatkaryavada, whereas they take the position of the doctrine of Satkaryavada. The effect is within the cause, the material cause. Where we understand that simplest way, the soul, when we understand the soul in related to the body, which we understand in related to Maya, Satkaryavada, the world and its evolution, we understand in related to Satkaryavada. The body which enjoys the good or bad, again we understand in related to Satkaryavada. So Saiva Siddhantians take the position of Satkaryavada, which means the effect within the cause and effect relationship. Simplest way I could parallel with the other Indian philosophical schools, Sankhya, where Sankhya also takes a position of Satkaryavada, where Nyaya and Vaisheshika takes a position of Asatkaryavada. So Saiva Siddhantians take the position of Satkaryavada doctrine, the theory of Satkaryavada, where we understand the function of Maya. So now there are four levels that I was trying to explain the function of Maya here. So the first one I was talking to you about definition. The next one, origin of Maya, the nature of Maya, the function of Maya. Under the function of Maya, there are four levels that I was trying to explain what is Maya in its related to function. The types of Maya would be the fifth one. What is exactly here? It's a little bigger, of course. If we want to understand all the types, what Saiva Siddhantians explain about Maya, it's a very big area. But I would like to summarize it as simple as possible here to understand at the preliminary level. If we want to know more about Satkaryavada, Asatkaryavada, how Saiva Siddhantians disagree with Asatkaryavada, why do they take the position of Satkaryavada, everything have been explained very well in the function of Maya. Further, in related to that, if you understand the types of Maya, further they explain stage after stage to support the nature of Maya, the function of Maya, the origin of Maya very well in Saiva Siddhanta. So now the types of Maya here. The types of Maya we understand in Saiva Siddhanta in related to 36 tattvas. The 36 tattvas comes here in related to understand Maya. What is exactly here? The 36 tattvas are the types of Maya divided into three major categories, three major levels or kinds, types. So there are three types of Maya. The first one is Suddha Maya. The second one is Asuddha Maya. The third one is Prakriti. Now, Suddha Maya, Asuddha Maya, Prakriti. Why do we call Suddha Maya? Why do we call Asuddha Maya? Now, Suddha Maya, because this particular Maya does not have any relation with Anava and Karma. It is pure. This Suddha Maya is considered as pure Maya, whereas Asuddha Maya will be considered as impure Maya. So the pure Maya is the first type, Suddha Maya. Now, Suddha Maya, the other term Saiva Siddhantians call as Siva Tattva. So I am trying to explain 36 tattvas also in the same line. Three types of Maya. We understand 36 tattvas also. Please take this position. You will be very clear. 36 tattvas will be explained here in three types of Maya. So the first one is Suddha Maya. Why do we call Suddha Maya? Because it does not have any relation with impurity, which is called Anavam, Anavamala, and of course Karmam. So there is no relation at all. So this particular type of Maya is considered Suddha Maya. Now, Suddha Maya is again denoted as Siva Tattva. So Shiva Tattva we understand as Suddha Maya. Under Shiva Tattva or Suddha Maya, there are five tattvas we understand here. There are five tattvas. Out of 36, the five falls under this particular category, which is called Suddha Maya. Siva Tattva. The five. I am not going to tell you one by one all, but I just name it if possible to understand it. And if you read further, you will be very clear. So under Suddha Maya, Shiva Tattva itself is one, Shakti Tattva, Sadashiva Tattva, Ishvara Tattva, Suddha Vinaya, Suddha Vinaya Tattva. Sorry, Vidya Tattva. Suddha Vidya Tattva, not Vinaya, Vidya. Suddha Vidya Tattva. So these are the five. Shiva Tattva, Shakti Tattva, Sadashiva Tattva, Ishvara Tattva, Suddha Vidya Tattva. Suddha Vidya also they say, Suddha Vidya Tattva also you can say that. Suddha Vidya Tattva. Because Vidya Tattva will come the next stage as well. Under the Asuddha Maya also. These are the five tattvas fall under the first category which is called Suddha Maya in Saiva Siddhanta, that is called Shiva Tattva. Why Suddha Maya? It does not have any relation with Anavam, Karma. Therefore, it is pure. It's a pure Tattva. Now, these qualities are supposed to be with the soul. The original nature of soul, which means Pasu, supposed to be these are the nature. The nature of Shiva Tattva. The soul must have the nature of Shakti Tattva. The soul must have the nature of Sat Shiva Tattva. The soul must have the nature of Ishvara Tattva. And the soul supposed to have the nature of Suddha Vidya Tattva. These are pure state. The pure state of soul supposed to be. But the soul is not having that quality because the soul is under the bondage of Anavam, the bondage of Karmam. It is because of that the soul does not, have. These are the five pure qualities. That is out of 36 tattva, the five tattvas of the first one supposed to be Suddha Maya. It's pure Maya. The second type of Maya is Asuddha Maya. Now it is opposite of Suddha Maya. Suddha Maya does not have any relation with Anavam and Karmam, but Asuddha Maya have the relation with Anavam and Karmam. Therefore, it is impure. And now, Suddha Maya, I told you, Siva Tattva. In the same way, Asuddha Maya is understood as Purusha Tattva. Sometimes it is known as Vidya Tattva as well. Please try to differentiate between Suddha Vidya Tattva, Vidya Tattva here. So this Vidya Tattva is not Suddha, it is Asuddha. So therefore, Asuddha Maya is known as Purusha Tattva, or sometimes it is known as Vidya Tattva. There are 7, tattvas fall under this category. Out of 36, 7 fall under this categories. That is a second type of Maya in Saiva Siddhanta. I would like to just name it so that you will be very clear. The first one is Kala. The second one is, Nithya. Of course, it is related to, when I say Nithya here, please understand that it is something related to fate. Okay, Vidhi. We understand that Vidhi. The third one is again Kala, but this Kala is not here. First one is time, limited time, because the soul is under this Asutta, because of that it is limited. So the time is limited, that's the first one. Again, the Vidhi plays a major role, that is fate. The third one, again Kala, that is limited authorship, because it cannot go beyond, its capacity. That is third one, Kala. The fourth one is Vidya again, limited knowledge. Raha, that is attachment, the attachment in the world, attachment in the, the world which the soul exists. And then Purusha, here we understand that limited individual. The individual is limited here because of the body. The body, since soul has this body, therefore it is limited. So limited individual, which is known as Purusha. Maya again here, the seventh one, that is limited space here. Maya is understood as a space, limited space. So these are the 7 tattvas. Kala, Vidhi, and we understand Kala again. Then we understand Vidya, then Raha, then Purusha, again Maya. These are the 7. Because of Anavam, because of Karmam, the soul is under these limitations. The soul is under the limited level. This is called Asuddha Maya in Saiva Siddhanta. So Suddha Maya, 5 tattvas. Asutta Maya, 7 tattvas, altogether 5 plus 7, 12. The third type of Maya in Saiva Siddhanta is Prakriti. Prakriti is known as Atma Tattva. Prakriti is known as Atma Tattva, where all the bodily qualities comes into the existence here. 24 tattvas fall under this category. I just number it actually. I just number it. You will be very clear further. 4 internal organs under Prakriti, 5 sense organs, 5 motor organs, 5 elements, 5 subtle elements. So 4 internal organs, 5 sense organs, 5 motor organs, 5 sub elements, the 5 subtle elements. Subtle elements comes the last one. So 4 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5. I mean 4, 5 and plus 4. 24 falls under this category. Now 36 tattvas are explained in Saiva Siddhanta in such a way. Suddha Maya 5 tattvas, Asutta Maya 7 tattvas, and Prakriti 24 tattvas. So 5 plus 7 plus 24 is equal to 36 tattvas. The 36 tattvas of Maya explained in Saiva Siddhanta systematically to understand what it is exactly. I would like to highlight here in related to, macrocosmic manifestation, microcosmic manifestation of these 36 tattvas, so that we will understand how it plays a major role. I mean, Maya plays a major role to liberate the soul from the bondage that is Anava. Now, macrocosmic manifestation. The first 5 plus the second 7 would be considered in Saiva Siddhanta as a macrocosmic manifestation. What is macrocosmic manifestation here? Macrocosmic manifestation means how the unripened soul, the soul is under the bondage, have the the opportunity to realize, opportunity to work on. These are all the things explained under the macrocosmic manifestations in Saiva Siddhanta. The first 12, in a simplest way, if I say that 36 tattvas, the first 12 talks about the macrocosmic manifestations. The last 24, that is Prakriti, Atma Tattva, talks about microcosmic manifestation. You no need to confuse with the term here. It's easy to understand in a way that how the soul can be liberated with the help of Maya here, as Saiva Siddhantians explain. The macrocosmic manifestation, which talks about the opportunity, which means the time has been given, the kala, but it is limited because of Asuddha Maya. Of course, it is because of Anava. It is because of karma. The karma, when we talk about that, the past karma which bonds the soul. So these are all the things makes a limited, but with the help of the pure, Maya, that is Suddha Maya, that person can come as a level of realization. The self-realization would be possible. But how the person has that awareness? The person supposed to have, has that awareness, that awakening, that spirit of awakening is very important. If it is not, still it just pass away. And the person comes into the next existence or the next birth. The cycle of birth, samsara chakra comes into the existence. And then the person has to come back to again the life. So now, the macrocosmic manifestation helps the soul to realize, to have the awareness, what is supposed to be. If the person who is having that attachment, raha, the Asutta Maya, one of the tattvas, the person must realize that attachment need to be stopped. Now, these all the things have been explained with the first 12. The first 12 tattvas are known as macrocosmic manifestation, which prepares a platform. Maya prepares a platform for a kind of liberation. The next stage, if the person has that sense, if the person has that awareness, definitely the Prakriti, the Atma Tattva, all the 24 tattvas will further help the person to be completely liberated from the bondage. Which means not only that effort, of course, Saiva Siddhanta, Kashmir Saivism also very clearly talks about divine grace comes into the operation. The divine grace supposed to be along with the 24 tattvas have been very much exercised by a soul, the individual, the divine grace, when it enjoins with this particular stage, the person will be liberated. When it comes to the liberation of soul in Saiva Siddhanta, we see these all. So now, the 24 tattvas, which means Prakriti, which means you can say the four internal organs, five sense organs, five motor organs, the five element, the five subtle element. These all the 24 will be very much or well utilized by the individual who can be matured enough in spirituality. The maturity comes into the higher level, the evolution. The maturity also is an evolution, which I am talking about. It's not only the physical maturity, mental maturity. In related to Maya, we are talking about spiritual maturity as well. Please understand that. Physical maturity, mental maturity, spiritual maturity. The spiritual maturity from one stage to the other stage. Prakriti helps, which means the organs, the life. When I say organs here, the very life of human existence right now, which is understood as microcosmic manifestation in Saiva Siddhanta. The 12 macrocosmic manifestation, the 24, the Prakriti, the Atma Tattva, the 24 Tattvas, we understand microcosmic manifestation, which helps the person to evolve the spirituality of one stage to the other stage, where the divine grace comes and enjoins, the person will be completely liberated. Therefore, according to Saiva Siddhanta, Maya is not bondage. Maya is a tool which helps the soul to be liberated. In a simplest way to understand with the present context, the relevance, Saiva Siddhantian very strongly holds that the world is real. The human existence is real. The very life of individual is real. The person, one who undergoes, conducts his or her life on this earth is real. This Maya is real. It is Nitya, of course. But how the individual realizes, the self-realization comes here, friends. The self-realization of individual is most important here. To grow from one stage to the other stage. As we grow in spiritual maturity, the person will be liberated. Along with, definitely the divine grace plays a major role further. So the divine grace, the sudden descendant of divine grace, the person is able to, receive the divine grace. When the person matured enough to that stage, definitely the divine grace will help the person to be completely liberated from anava malam, that is ego, the primal bondage. This is what we understand that. So altogether, the three types of Maya explains 36 tattvas in Saiva Siddhanta, and three types are divided into three: Suddha Maya, Asuddha Maya, Prakriti. Suddha Maya and Asuddha Maya goes with 12 tattvas. Prakriti goes with 24 tattvas. Altogether, 36 tattvas, well explained under the concept of Maya. And this Maya is a tool to be liberated. Now, the individual has to have that realization. The self realization is most important here. And the Maya need to be used as a meaningful tool to be mature, to have a self realization, and to receive the divine grace. To receive the divine grace, the person has to come to that level. This is most important. This is what Maya is understood inside Siddhanta. I would like to just tell you the 5 things that I discussed under this, the bondage of soul in Saiva Siddhanta with emphasis on Mayamala. The first I have begun with definition of the term Maya. Then I briefly explained about the origin of Maya, the nature of Maya, the function of Maya, and the fifth one, types of Maya. Under the types of Maya, the 36 tattvas we understand here. And the 36 tattvas or the types of Maya, we understand 3 levels: Suddha Maya, Asuddha Maya, Prakriti. And the 36 divided into 5 plus 7 plus 24. The 5 under Suddha Maya, 7 under Asuddha Maya, 24 tattvas under Prakriti. Now, the Suddha Maya and Asuddha Maya we understand as macrocosmic manifestation, which prepares a platform for all. And 24 tattvas, Prakriti, that is Atma Tattva, which is known as microcosmic manifestation, where individual supposed to play a major role to mature oneself. This is what Maya in Saiva Siddhanta. Thank you.